First and foremost, we have 47 counties. It's pointless to start speaking about sharing if any of those counties are not working. We must make sure, sit here and ask ourselves, for one county to be working in Kenya today, what is the minimum we must give every county across this country, regardless of whether Lamu has 110,000 people, Nyeri has 1 million, Kakamega has 2, Kiambu has 3. Because as far as I'm concerned, I'm a Kenyan. Yes. And if Kenya will develop, let us stop. You know, we are still working around the colonial mentalism. Can we ensure that we sit down as CRA and say, and I'm giving you, I have been a governor twice. The minimum you need for any county to be operational is 7 billion. Take that one, and even if you give 7 and don't give anything else, let them go and everybody will survive. So let's review that. What is the basic share for every county to be operational? Because CRA, in terms of equity and thinking about the future cake, must also incentivize those that are producing. Why are you not looking at that? If you want a bigger cake next year, we are only saying, so if you reduce Muranga's ability to produce coffee, Muranga's ability to produce avocado, what will happen to our GDP the year after? Those are questions we must ask. I may ask you just for a reason, because Kenya has a tendency of saying the Central Region has always been favored. Do you know how many people have jiggers in this region? Do you know how many of us are living in slums? Do you know how many of us are suffering? Do you know how many of us cannot access Medicare? Yet iko pale. This is a notion that has been created that is not correct, is not true. That because we have had successful presidents, I don't know which president came when, another one came when, and we are not, that is not true. Now, for ourselves as Central or CEREB, I have said the pain we have is not getting what we deserve. And since we agreed, we become very frank and talk to each other. From the first formula, it was about how do we take away from Central to other places. That was number one. We came to the second one. Some people tried to contone and say, oh, now let's change it a little. They did. Even let us forget these kind of things. Injustices are injustices, it doesn't matter done to whom. We all agree that the Northeastern requires tarmac. We also agree that Kajiado must have, even if you went to Amboseli, they also need tarmac. As we think about it, let us equip our counties. A county like Tharaka Nithi, a county like Kirinyaga, where my chair comes from, Embu here, look at the amounts of money they are getting. Nyeri too. We are, I think, we are now at 6.1. One of the things I would want the CRA to ask themselves this question. You talk a lot about, oh, you want to incentivize, I don't know whom to do what, increase revenue. Have you ever asked yourself this question? Who bakes the cake? Because once we ask ourselves that question, as commissioners, as governors, as Kenyans, then we will not give someone a knife and another one a panga to go and eat the cake, because it's already telling us that one is advantaged, the other one is disadvantaged. And so we must start with the key. Now that we are here, we want to discuss, you have listened to others, can we look for the knife that we shall give everybody, an equal knife, the same size, to cut the cake? If we do not do that, then let us ask ourselves, who brought the flour, who brought the eggs, who did the baking? But we can't wake up one morning when the cake is ready. All of us now come and start saying, let us start by having it equally. Where were you when we were baking it? We must ask. Have you asked yourself that question? When I look at your formula, whether the first, the second, or the third, it doesn't appear.